Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Going to start that lab 3 is supposed to happen. Now go to that your lab 3. We are going to start that one. So in the lab 3, lab 3 RSTP, we are going to that. So we have that it is called university. So what we are going to do that, or simplest design which you guys are going to use okay. So so what we are going to do that in the MST, we are going for that our basic configuration which you I'm going to say you about that. They have that identical MST name, revision number, and then VLAN to instance mapping. It is the same on each devices. Okay, so that and they are operability between that your PVST to that your MST, right? By default, when you are going to log in over the device, let's assume that you are going to log in onto the device. I'm going to have that the basic architecture over there, and let's do that. So VLAN, let's assume that this one iOS have that your six switches over there. Then we are going to give the name as SW, right? Switches things we are going to clear it up, and we have the six switches over there: switch 1, switch 2, and the switch 3. Then we have the switch 4, switch 5, and the switch 6, right? So we have that link of this thing over there. So, we have the switch 2, switch 3, switch 1. Let's assume that it is a one region, it is another region. So basic configuration, we are going to do that. Switch 1 is going to connect to that another switch, and then this switch is going to connect to the another switch, right? Now we have that this switch is going to connect to that. Right? So it looks good to be. This switch also going to connect to the this switch, and this switch is going to connect to the 4 is going to connect to 6, and then 4 is going to connect to that 6. Okay. So let's assume that this we are going to running into that one region. Okay, this we are going to running into that one region, and we are going to create a multiple instance over there. So if you go for that your custom shape, let's assume that we are going to use that our, we are going to use circle one, and this color we are going to put it over here. This is the one region we are going to use that, and another region we have that. We're going to use a different region. So let's assume that we have that kind of task which we are going to follow right now. So we are going to create a two instance 1 where we are going to map the VLAN of 10 to 30, is 10, 20 and 30 VLAN, and we have that second instance 2, which we are having that your 40, 50 and 60. Okay, so we have the 6 VLAN, and as per the company policy, they are saying that we should not run 6 instances of that your PVSTP. They are saying that, you know, sir, we are going to run as a bundled of the VLAN. We are going to run as a single instance, which is only possible into MST only. It is not possible into the STP. It is not possible in the PVSTP. It is not possible into that RSTP, because all are running as a per VLAN basis. Only the STP is that it is a single instance running for that all the VLAN. Where the PVSTP comes for, it is running for per VLAN basis. After that, whatever developed PVSTP, after that, whatever developed RSTP, MSTP, they are running for that per VLAN basis only. So MSTP is the thing where we can bundle it out, where we can bundle it out, which we don't have the feature in any other flavor of the STP. So we are going to bundle that only the 2 instances of that 6 VLAN, right? So that my CPU and the RAM utilization is going to less, right? As well as we can see that what possible thing we are going to do that. So now if you have this one, how about the best way we can manipulate our, let's assume that it is the region 1. This region we are going to call as a network ruler. We're going to call as a network rulers 1. And we are going to call as a network ruler region 2. Network rulers region 2. Done. Region name is done as per that the different region they have, right? And instance 1 we are going to cover into that region 1. Instance 2 we are going to cover into that our region
2. So, one question, sir.
Yes.
There will be no connectivity in region 1 and region 2, sir?
We will do that later.
Okay.
How the communication is going to work, we can see that later.
Okay.
Instance 2.
Why? If I'm going to give an instance 1, it is not going to work?
No, it's not like that.
See, in a single region, when you are going to bundle multiple, then you have instance 1, instance 2, instance 2, instance 3, like that, right? When it is belongs to different region, right? It having the different revision number, so it is going to instance going to start again from the 1, 2. Yes or no? Yes or no? It is a different region, different revision number, so instance will start from again from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How much it will go? How many instances we can create maximum? We can check that. Don't give the answer in the interview panel. We are going to check that. Instance 0, by default, the VLAN which is not going to bundle, that is going to fall automatically the part of the instance 0. That
IST.
That protocol we are going to call as IST. IST running in every switches, right? And they have the interoperativity that MST and IST. Make sense, guys? Make sense?
Understood. Yeah.
Now, either I can give the instance 2 or 1. It is start from the 1 and 2. But as you told me, I'm going to give the instance number 2. But keep remember, it is a different region, different division number. I can start from the 1. It is local to this region, and that is still local to that region. Make sense? Guys, all of you, make sense or
Yes,
not?
sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Sir, can you please repeat that line, that IST?
IST, we are going to see that internal spanning tree protocol, which is going to run by default. So if any VLAN is left out, which is not bundled, that automatically going to bundle under that instance 0. So instance 0, you cannot create it. Cannot create it. You can manipulate it, but you cannot create it. You cannot create it. By default, it is going to create it. By default, it is going to create it. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
That we will see that. So now 3 attributes you must ensure: MST configuration name, MST revision number, and MST instance to VLAN mapping. It has to be the same. Then that all the switches is going to define at it is going to run on that same region. If out of the 3, if anything mismatching, that switch is not going to consider running under the same region. Okay, make sense? Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Now we are going to see that what actually is going to happen. Let's assume that. So we are going to cover of that. First, we are going to cover that our MST configuration, right? And let's assume that we have a 2 instance over there, so that we have better things to do that. And if we are going to do that instance 1 to 10, 20, 30, then we have that instance INST instance, we have a 2 over there, so that we can change the priority. We will show you other thing as well: 40, 50, and 60. Let that other instance which is running over the region 2, we are going to change that as a instance. They are running as a 1. They have a different sets of the VLAN. 40, 50, 60 is over there. Then we have that here. 70, 80, 90. Okay. Make sense? Yes or no? Make sense? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
So now, when a moment you are going to do that, I'm not connecting to the any edge devices over there. This is belongs to the different region. This belongs to the different region. If you are going to connect over there, this switch only going to see that only one switch over there. Which switch? This one. And when this switch is going to see over there, it is going to see only one switch over there. Yes or no? Because edge switches are exchanging their BPDU, which we are going to call as a IST or
CIST.
CST. Same name, common spanning tree protocol or internal spanning tree
Tree protocol.
protocol, right? Which is going to run as a per VLAN basis. Yes or no? So now we are going to rule the first part over there. We are going to start up the things, and we are going to start this one. You will see that. Okay, one part we will do the R&D, then you can configure this part as it is, then you can see that. Okay, guys. So now what things we are going to configure? I'm going to on the device. You guys are going to help me out. I don't know anything. All of you. This is a very basic configuration which I'm expecting you guys knows that. And don't fear with that when the teacher asking you. You know all those things, even though you don't know. B, stand in your place. Don't log off. I met with one student long back. I asked 2 questions to him. Next day he log off that machine, he didn't join. Are you fall under this category? My student, all of you. Today I'm asking something, next day he set up the laptop and he didn't join. He was beginner. He again met me after 2 years and saying that, sir, I want to take the class. Why he called me after 3 years, guys, or after 2 years? Any thought process?
Fear, sir.
You have to understand this point, how to.
So why he is not able to understand this thing from my side? He's scared, or what he could say to me after he is still in touch with me. He took the training from me, he got the job. Okay, guys, so I will tell you the story. First, let me configure that one and we can make you understand. So let's assume that I have that VLAN 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. What the first thing we need to do? We need to enable that.
Create VLANs.
Why create the VLAN? First, we need to enable
Change the
that
hosting.
mode. Config T.
Hosting.
Just hosting is the basic thing. If you want to change thing, I'm going to ask you in terms of your MST configuration, what the first thing you need to take the steps. It's okay if you guys are saying that it's a
Spanning tree mode MST.
perfect. So first we are going to change the mode. We know that by default Cisco is running that previously. We are going to change the mode. We are going to change that
Mode.
config key, host name, we have the switch 3, done sir, all done. I'm going to the switch 1. In the switch 1, I need to do that spanning tree mode MST. So sir, you have done that MST, I'm going to do that spanning tree mode MST. I'm going to done that spanning tree mode. We have MST. So Cisco command is case sensitive, sir? No, sir. That's why intentionally I on that caps. One is small, one capital, doesn't matter. It is going to take the command as it is. Spanning tree mode, MST. Don't get confused. Command is command. It is already hard coded. Right? It is already hard coded. Whether it's small letter, capital letter, automatically it will take. So now once you enable the mode, what the first thing I'm going to check that? So do so spanning tree MST configuration. What configuration I can see, guys? It is saying that I have the revision number 0, which is going to configure for the instance configured 1. How many instances we configured right now? 1. And by default, all the VLAN automatically map into the instance 0. This instance 0, is it running that MST or it is running that IST?
IST.
IST, sir.
How do you know? Do so spanning tree.
MST summary.
No, that is fine. What is that? This one? MST summary later on we check. So do so spanning tree. What is spanning tree running right now? IEEE
0.
MST. Which instance is running? Is running the instance 0? Yes or no?
Yes.
Right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What it is saying that? What it is saying that? If I'm running that MST0, what it is saying that? Is there anything which is going to show that indicating that I'm running that IST or that CST? No, right? You cannot see that, or you can see that.
Cannot.
No, sir.
No.
So what is the port state we have? The guys, same the port state we have, right? Alternate port, we have a root port, right? Who is the root bridge for this? I have instance 0, right? I'm running the MST very clear. Spanning tree enable protocol MST. This is that protocol running. And which instance running? Instance running 0. For this instance running 0, what are the VLANs are there later point of time? So for the MST 0, each of my switch 3 is a root bridge. It is saying that it is nothing mentioned as a root bridge, right? No mention thing. If I'm going to the switch 1, do so, spanning tree MST, summary. Let it be MST, we are going to use that. What is saying that? This switch is for root. This switch is for internal spanning tree protocol.
Sir, come again, sir.
I'm saying that MST is going to map the VLAN of 1 to 4094, right? What is the bridge ID? Bridge ID we have?
5000. 000.
So this route is showing for whose?
Centralized.
Not centralized, common
Common.
internal spanning tree protocol. Guys, just anybody, you can let me know why it is saying that CIST. I told you when
Because we didn't
Instance zero.
create any instance.
Until we configure any instance.
MST0 by default it is running for
Yes.
common internal spanning tree protocol or IST, which is going to work as a per VLAN basis. So here we have that multiple VLAN mapped. So it is going to run for this overall instances as a. So in this switch, when we are going to bundle it MST0, even though we are going to enable the MST0, now you can tell me the VLAN which is going to bundle over 1 to 4094. CIST is running for common internal spanning tree protocol for the MST0. Can it is running for each and every VLAN or VLAN basis, or it is running a single instance?
Single instance.
Yeah, single instance.
Sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Per VLAN.
CIST is interoperability between the MST and other instances of that outside of the region. That's why it is going to see that as a CIST, common internal spanning tree. Why it is not showing into that other switches? Because it is not a root bridge, man. Who is the root bridge? It is a root bridge. It is a root bridge. So where it will show that? Into the root bridge. Who are that root bridge for the MST0? That is going to run as a CIST. So we can comes to know that is sir MST0, it is the protocol which is running called internal spanning tree protocol, which having a interoperability between that MSTL or VLAN spanning tree protocol. Make sense? Yes or no? Yes or no? This picture
Yes.
is clear. This picture clear or not? Let me know. Yes or no? Let me know. In other instances, we have two categories, right? Breach and the root.
Root bridge. Yeah.
Breach and root. So saying that this switch is that for CST, it is the root bridge. For which one? For instance 0. Interoperability means this is going to map with that bundle the port when it is going to talk to that other VLAN which is coming from the outside of the region, that it is having the capacity to interoperability. It can interoperate it between that your PVSTP to MST. So here already we have bundled it, right? And it is running that common spanning tree protocol. So it has the capacity to interoperate between that PVSTP to that MST. But it is running a single instance over there. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Single
Bundle is a single instance running. Why we are calling as a not STP over here? Because it's a common internal spanning tree protocol which is going to run a single instance for all the VLAN. And I am the root bridge. I am that root bridge. So what is the MAC? What is the bridge? What is the my MAC? 001. Yes or no? And it is saying that I am the root bridge. So if you go to other switches, what is the root bridge ID? 001. And what's my local MAC? I have local MAC 03. So who is the root bridge? This is the root bridge. What is that priority? 32768. So when you are going to bundle that port as well, VLAN as well, so by default priority is going to 32768. 32768. And why the system ID is going to 0? Right now, it is not going to add on the basis of the VLAN number. It is going to add on the basis of that your MST ID. So when you have a MST ID 1, then this priority become 68 plus 1.
9.
68 plus 1.
69.
9. In that instance, one you pay 1,000 VLAN also, but it is going to add only 1. It is going to add only 1. Now make sense, guys? So common spanning tree protocol where I can see in the root bridge. In that root bridge. Makes sense? Now port status is everything is same in the per basis. We have the root port, we have a designated port, we have that block port, alternate port. That's all. Right? Who's going to lose the election? That is going to block the port. So I am going to win the election, all port my designated port. All ports are my
Designated forward.
right?
Excuse me, Trana, please. So I didn't understand. I'd like to repeat again about priority because trying to say that it's adding more one. I didn't understand what.
No. What I'm saying that right now that instance 0 is running, right? Which is going to map all the VLAN from 1 to 4094. So priority in this case, always the priority in this case 768 plus we have the system ID, right? In normal PVSTP cases, we are going to add 32768 plus whatever the VLAN you are going to create on the VLAN 10, you are going to create for the PVSTP, then it is 10 is going to add over there, right? Your priority, yes or no?
Yes.
Now, when you have the MST, even though in that instance you have a multiple VLAN added over there, but priority always going to add on the basis of the ID. So here ID going to add as a 0. When you are going to create instance 1, in the instance 1 you have the VLAN 10, 20, 30. In that condition, that priority become for the instance 1. What is the priority? 32768 plus 1. Not the VLAN number, right? How many VLAN you are going to add, that it doesn't matter because it is running that MST. So MST instance ID is going to add over there in terms of the system ID. Where in the case of that PVSTP, it is going to add the VLAN ID on the basis of that which you are running. So in the per VLAN spanning tree protocol, if you are running for the 10 by default priority locally how it is 32768 plus 10. Yes or no? Yes or no, Jose? When you are running the PVSTP?
Yes.
Yes. So that is the concept you are building over there. Now you got the point. Sir, CIST is a common internal spanning tree protocol, or that IST is written over there. So IST means internal spanning tree protocol, which is going to run, which is having a capacity to interoperate between your MST to PVSW. So if I'm going to make a switch to the external connectivity, that switch is going to say that it is going to run as a IST. So in your entire network, where that your ISC internal common explanatory protocol is going to run? Root bridge, right? Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay. Now what I'm going to do that.
Sir, what about the cost? 20,000 written over there. What is that?
Which cost?
The interface, there is a role and then status, then cost.
Cost, it is going to, as it is a gig interface, right? So cost depend upon your designated port. So this cost, they are saying that 20,000. How the 20,000 will come? How the 20,000 will come? You tell me, na, as per the IEEE standard, what is the cost? Ethernet, what is that? Fast Ethernet, 19 Ethernet. What is the cost of Ethernet, guys?
Ethernet 19, sir.
How the Ethernet 19 here? 1 gig?
100 is the cost for Ethernet. Fast Ethernet, it is 19.
Now 1 gig interface, what is the cost? 4. Right? When you are going to bundle that your each VLAN basis, you have the 3 interface you are bundled, right? 3 VLAN you are bundled. 10, 20, 30 into that 1 instance. If you are going to bundle. Right now, how many VLAN you are bundled into that MST0? You bundle 1 to 4,094. Yes or no?
Yes.
So this cost they are going to calculate for the per VLAN basis.
Okay.
So total cost they are coming as a 20,000. You need to calculate that one. Now you tell me if that go over there. So spanning tree MST configuration. What you configured, it is configured, and when you will go for that, your details. Okay. So in the details, what you are going to see that? What you are going to see that, guys? The details leave it. So it is going to, a lot of the logs it is going to show you. So is spanning tree. What is that? Okay, look at here. So what is the cost is saying? 20,000. This port belongs to where? It is bundled, right? By default, this port is part of the VLAN 1 only, right?
Yes, sir.
So now, if this port is the part of the VLAN 1, and when you are going to bundle it together, so that cost is also going to calculate for the 2 only? 2 also? Yes or no? Then 3 also? 4 also? 5 also? Yes or no? So how many VLAN you are going to, you have a 4,094. 4,094. And if it is a 1 gig interface, what is the cost, guys?
4.
What is that? 4.
Yep.
So if I have a cost for 1 VLAN, so approximately how many VLAN you have over here?
4,094.
So approximately when we are going to calculate over there, the cost will come you over like this only. If we are going to get just, it is the cost they are calculating, right? How the cost is going to calculate, guys? How the cost is going to calculate? It is a standard only. The 1 gig interface, the cost we are going to define as a 4, right? So if you look for that interface, so interface gig 0/0. What is saying that? What is the bandwidth of this interface, guys? kbps 1000 gone, MB 1000 gone, 1 gig. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
It is a 1 gig interface. So if I'm going to say that, ki man, for one VLAN, if it is like that only, so sir, exactly 20,000, how it is going to come, I don't know, sir. Okay. So 4094 is that total VLAN range we have. How much range we have? 4094. Out that lot of the reserve are there. So 1 to 4094, I'm going to do that 4095 multiplied by 4. How much coming?
16,338.
So they have other calculation as well, where that approximately for your this cost will come you 20,000, because that cost which they are going to define, that cost is when the cost is going to involve when we have a root port calculation. Yes or no? When we have a root port calculation is there, then we have a cost is going to associate over there. Yes or no, guys? Is there cost anywhere associated with that apart from the root port? While we are deciding the root port to reaching to that root bridge, that port is going to consider as a
Cost.
cost, right?
Yep.
First is the cost. If the cost is not matching, then we will go for
Next port.
what is that? Sending switch bridge ID. If it is not there, then sending switch.
JD.
First one is that local the port cost. If the cost is not matching, it is not going to tiebreaker. Then the sending switch, who are going to sending the switch, that switch bridge ID. If it is a lower, that is going to win the election, right? For that port, we are going to reach to that root switch, and that big port become the root port. If that also not going to tiebreaker, my sending switch having a two link to that my node, and in that condition is not meeting, then it will go to port priority. If the port priority is not going to match, sending switch push priority. If the port priority also not going to tiebreaker, then port ID never become the equal. Port ID never become that equal. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So cost is associating with that when they are going to calculate the root port. Now, if for the VLAN 1, it is the root port is this one, or the VLAN 2 root port is this one, or VLAN 3 root port is this one. In some other cases, if we are not going to calculate over this one, so root port, how it is? Root port is the gig 0/1, right? Yes or no? Go to the switch 3. So is spanning tree, MST. Look at here, guys. Look at here very clearly. So what is that? It is cost is coming everywhere. It is coming 20,000, right? Everywhere it is going to come 20,000. So this port is saying that it is a block port, and the cost is 20,000. So there is a calculation over there for each VLAN basis. They are going to calculate the total cost over there. It is not the per VLAN basis. If the per VLAN is there, then what is the cost, guys? What is the cost?
If it is a Ethernet, then it will be
100. If it is a bus Ethernet, 19. If it is a, so it is, the cost is going to say local to that, right?
Yeah.
But when the cost is going to calculate to reaching to the root bridge, the total cost of that port is going to say that taking to that root bridge. Yes or no? So now, if you are going to say that, sir, this port cost, how it is? This cost plus this cost. Yes or no?
yes.
Reaching to the root bridge, the total cost of this link and this path. Yes or no? So this cost is going to include 4, and this going to calculate as a 4. So 4, 4, 8 for one VLAN. For other VLAN, it could be that it is not 8, it could be the 4. Other side will be the 8. Yes or no? So altogether right now, when you are going to calculate as a 444, your calculation is coming as a 16,380. So altogether, when you are going to calculate for that one, right now, it is going to select as a gig 00 as that your alternate port, it is a block port. Yes or no? And what is the cost? Cost always define the total cost reaching to that your root bridge. So that port cost is going to take an effect for the calculation of the root port or the designated port, or it is going to block the port. That cost is going to calculate on the basis of what port role that port is going to take over that. But as per the IEEE standard, that cost is local to that. Local to that. So right now the gig for the VLAN 1, if we start from the VLAN 1, so this port cost is 4, VLAN 2 again 4, VLAN 3 again 4. So it is going to bundle it together total. Right? So this cost you are going to define as a 1 to 4094. Again, that cost for your other VLAN we have 4095, 4096. So all together it will come to 20,000 only. Are you getting my point or not? If you look for that internal calculation, then you need to do that internal calculation. Are you getting my point, guys? So as you are going to bundle it together, that's why it is going to show you the cost as a 20,000. When you are going to remove that one, for each VLAN basis, what is the normal cost will come, guys? What is the cost will come? How much it will show you 1 gig interface?
4.
Yes or no?
Yes.
So this calculation depend upon from where you are going to calculate, guys. So don't remember that locally it is a 4. The cost will come as a 4 only. For other port, what is the cost? Guys, very, very simple logic, which I am going to deliver you right now. So let's assume that this is the switch. Cost is going to calculate when we are going to decide the port role. Done. Which port become the root port, which port become the designated port, which port become that alternate port or the block port. On the basis of there is a tiebreaker. For the tiebreaker, we are going to calculate that one. First is that cost. What is the cost? Reaching to the root bridge, what is the total cost? Any one of the interface. Reaching to the root bridge, what is the total cost? If reaching from this interface, this is the one cost. If this switch wants to reach to that root bridge in this way, so what is the cost of that from this side? 4 plus 4. And this side is 4.
4 only.
But it is the same switch, right? Same switch having a 2-way to reaching to that, your root bridge. Now coming to that, this port cost, that cost is going to show that from this interface if you go, the cost is 4. For this interface if you go, the port cost is 8. That's why this port is going to take the role of as a RP. And this port is going to take the role as a DP. Right? But coming to the cost calculation, what is the total cost? We are going to do that 4 plus 4 plus 4, 12. In one direction only. If in this way we are going to calculate, then if we are going to multiply 12 by your 4,000, will forge a 48,000. So depend upon that total cost. If we are going to do that as a gig 00, it is the root port, right? So this calculation saying that for that one VLAN 1, for that instance 0, it having that cost calculation because it is going to bundle that VLAN. So don't get confused over that 20,000 how it is going to come. The system is going to calculate on that. Exact calculation you are not going to get it. How the system is going to calculate over there. If you have a normal calculation, I'm going to say that, sir, I bundle the port from the 1 to 4094. So I have altogether only the 4095 port only, right? And I know that in that 4095 total VLAN which we have, 4095, in that 1002, 1003, 1004 and 1005, we are not running that any kind of that, your STP. It is out. Right? But it is bundle over here, right? Right? It is also bundle over here. So that is also going to take the calculation over there. Even though, sir, 4095 and we have a port cost of the 4, what is the 4? From this interface, if you are writing to the root bridge, then who is the root bridge right now? The switch 1 is the root bridge, yes or no? For MST 0. Yes or no? It is the root bridge for the instance 0. Right? Yes or no? So now if you are going to calculate, it is normally coming, sir, 16,380. So where is the exact calculation? 20,000. So there is a calculation, it's still remaining over there, how it is going to calculate the cost. Normally you can change the cost on the basis of that port which is defined as per the IEEE. But there is some calculation over that into your system which is going to calculate the cost. For interface basis, they are going to define as a fast Ethernet as a 90, Ethernet as a 100, 1 gig as a 4, 10 gig as a 2. This is the standard calculation they are defining over there. Exact cost, still that system is going to do that. Now on the basis of the 20,000, you can do that manipulation. Right? What is the cost of this? 20,000. If I want to reduce the cost, which cost I need to reduce, guys? Sending switch, right? So this sending switch cost, what is the cost of this port? 20,000? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Sending switch cost, what is that? 20,000? Yes or no? If I want to do that, if this port I want to make a root port, and this port I want to make a designated port, what I need to do? This sending switch cost how much?
1,000.
This sending switch how much cost is it?
1,000.
So total how much happened? 40,000. Still this switch is by default is a 20. So by default it is going to take the root port. If I want to make this port as a root port, somehow this 20,000 I will make more than this 40,000. So I will go to my neighboring switch. I will go to this port and I will say that what is the cost of that? This port? Only 10,000. Done. I will go to this switch and this port I will say that what is your cost? Your cost is 5,000. Now from this port, when it is going to reach to their neighbor, so what is the sending switch port cost, guys? It is a 10,000. It is a 5,000, not become 15,000, right? Yes or no? And from here, what is that? 20,000. So in that condition, it becomes the root port. Yes or no? So
Yes,
whenever you have the cost calculation as well, cost is always going to calculate from that your neighboring part. Yes or no?
Yes,
So
sir.
first is the cost of neighbor switch which is sending to you. Second is that if it is not going to tiebreaker, second is sending switch bridge ID.
Maybe.
What is a bridge ID contain? Priority plus MAC. Who having that lower MAC or lower priority, from that switch my port will go and it is going to hit to that your root bridge and that port become the root port. If it is also not matching, sending switch port priority. Sending switch port priority, which by default priority we have a 128.1.2. So what is the priority by default? 128. If it is also not matching, then sending switch port ID. ID means 00 or 01 or 02, who having the least one. From that port, if I'm going to connecting that one, so that port might become the root port. So always it is going to calculate on the basis of neighboring or sending switch. If you are going to change the cost from here also, it is not going to work. Yes or no? Let's do that then. So now if in that MST you have this calculation, right? switch 3, switch 2, switch 1. Picture is clear, guys? Now I am into the switch 2. I want that this gig 00, which my root port right now, I am going to the switch 2. Guys, put the concentration over here. Any infection or any affected thing, we are going to calculate from the neighbor switch or sending switch, not the local to that. So spanning tree, MST. So who is my root port, guys? 00. What is my cost? 20,000. This cost, how it is going to calculate from my sending switch. So which port having this cost? My neighboring switch port having this cost. Which port? My neighboring switch port, this port having a cost of 20,000, which is going to show over there. It is not my local cost. It is my neighboring switch port, wherever my port is going to connect it, that port become the root port. So my neighboring switch port, this port having a cost of 20,000. What is the cost of that? Neighboring switch, which is going to connect over there, and this is going to connect over there. That is that port cost. So it is the 20,000. They are going to see that. So total cost how much? From
40.
here to here, total is going to see that
40,000.
So it is going to say that my sending switch port cost. So this cost is 20,000, not my local. If I want to see my local, I need to go to my neighboring switch and I need to say that what is that cost? My neighboring switch is going to send that. So this cost is sending that. If from my neighboring switch, what is the post cost which we have, we are going to see that. If I want to make effect of this port as a designated port and this port as a root port, I need to make effect on over there and I need to make an effect over there. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So that is going to calculate affecting here and that is indirectly going to be affecting here. Yes or no? So I will go to my neighboring switch of 3 and that my switch number 1 and I'm going to change that port priority, that port cost. Yes or no? So I will go over there. I'm into that my switch 1. Switch 1 which port, guys? Gig 00. Switch 1 port gig 00. As it is a 20,000, that side become the total 40,000 we have total. So let only one could do that. I will go to the switch 2, switch 1, config T, spanning tree. If I'm going to increase the cost over there, that side we have a 20 plus 20, 40,000, right?
Yes,
If
sir.
I'm going to increase the cost from there, which is going to affect that my gig 00, my neighboring switch, right? So what I'm going to do there, I make it as a 60,000. Done. Done or not?
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm going to do that here. I'm going to the switch 2. What is going to happening, guys? Do so, spanning tree. MST. What is the cost?
60,000.
Done. Which is going to take the effect if I'm going to say that, because from this port I'm going to reach to my root bridge, right?
Yeah.
If from this port I'm going to reach to my root bridge, right? So my neighboring switch, which is the switch 2 from the gig 00, is saying that, oh, my neighbor reaching to that root switch from the gig 00, right? My neighboring port of 00, I need to achieve the cost of 60,000, right? So what path I need to take? I need to take as a gig 0/1. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So now if I'm going to the gig switch 2 and I'm going to say that, so spanning tree, MST, what is saying that, guys? I want to clear the thing.
Clear spanning tree. Count.
Counter, clear the spanning tree statics, or I need to restart that one. Okay, no problem. It is going to take the effect. We are going to gig 0/1 is become that root port. No, sir. I'm going to see over there. One second, guys. Switch 3. Sending switch. What is the cost for that? Switch 3. 1 second, guys. Which one? Which one? Interface gig 0/0, spanning tree. Cost we have 20,000. Exit. Do so. Spanning tree MST. Okay. Gig 20,000 we have this one. Now what we are going to do that? Sorry for that. This port, while reaching to the root bridge, is going to take the path of gig 00. Fine. Now from here, it is going to take the path of a gig 0/1. Okay. So now when it is going from here, this cost and this cost is going to calculate. So what is the total cost, guys, from here? 20 plus 20, 40,000. Yes or no?
What
Yes.
is?
Okay. I'm going to say that interface gig 0/0.
think we have to change 3, sir. Switch tool.
No, why? It is a single thing we are changing for the 60,000, no?
Yeah.
Spanning tree port cost, we have a 60,000. Right, 60,000 is correct one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Do right. Exit. Reload. From. Switch to. Reload. Switch 3. Total cost we are going to minimizing. From gig 0/1 it is a total cost 40. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Now coming from that switch 1 directly, it is the 20,000, right? I am making from a single interface as a 60,000 cost, so automatically it will take the gig 0/1. Yes or no? Which switch is rebooted, guys? 01, 02 done. 3 we will go. 3 we will go. Write command, then we have a reload. We have a reload. You see that's why domain name we are not giving, man. Reload spelling is mistake. Now it is searching for the domain. It is counter clear means it is static going to clear, man. That's why. Actually, it is not restarting the process. Are you getting my point? What is saying that? It has to restart the process. Why it is saying translating the reload domain name? I know that it is a wrong spelling, man. Why you are bothering me? I know that. Now we will see that. So 4 criteria. Cost means sending switch port cost, right? Then if it is not matching, then sending switch bridge ID, which including your priority and the MAC address, which is the lower, that switch will take the path. From that switch, we will take that path. If it is not matching, then sending switch port priority. If port priority not matching, last port ID. A sending switch, a switch having that multiple port over there, their ID cannot be matched. A switch cannot have the 2 interface gig 0000. It's possible. A switch locally should have the 2 port gig 00 and gig 00. Never. The first one 0 is indicating as a module or slot. Under that, second one is going to say that PCI. So first one is going to say that as a PCI, then second one we have a call port number, physical port number. So PCI 0 and having a port number of 0. PCI 0 having a port number 1. PCI 0 having a port number 2, like that. If you have a 3 bifurcation of that, 3 interfaces over there, like this, then first one is the slot or module, second one is the PCI number, right? And third one is the physical port. If you have a 2 thing, then this slot gone, you have a PCI 0, port 0, PCI 0, if this PCI having a 24 port, so you start from that 0 to it will go to that 24 port. Make sense? Now we are going to check that our final thing over here. Where that my concept is lying over there. So now it having this one interface, so spanning tree MST, UT. Now we have the switch to MST part. We can see that key there. We are mistaking anything. It is not the thing, sir, guys. So that port priority we are going to change for MST. For bundling of that port, we need to check that. Then, are you getting my point? So still it is saying that from that cost, from reaching to the gig 00, reaching that 20,000, it has to take the effect. Right? Port priority we are changing for that, our spanning tree, we are changing for that one. It is saying that it is the port cost is 60,000, right? If this switch is using this path, how much it is a cost? 60. If this switch taking this path as a gig 0/1 from this interface, total cost should be 20 plus 20. 20 plus 20, right? Yes or no? Forty. So
Yes.
is from this one it is a 60, from this one is a 40. This port has to be considered as a root port, and this port become a your designated port. As it is the VLAN, we are going to bundle it out. We need to check the right command. Config, we will go to the switch one. Is there any command for our port priority for MST that we need to check it? That we need to check it. That port priority we are going to change on the basis of that MST, not STP. Config T interface, we have that your gig 0/0. Right? So what we are starting with that spanning tree only, right? We need to check that one. So we have the spanning tree. Then spanning tree for which one? VLAN range we have 12094 cost how much VLAN which are bundling over there? 1 to 4094, right? Now for entire VLAN cost, as we are running the MST, because we are running the wrong command, no? We are just simply changing that spanning tree port cost. So by default, it will going to take the VLAN one only. Yes or no? So for entire VLAN 1 to 4000, we are going to change the cost of 60,000. Now exit interface gig 0/0. We are going to set that one. Let's see into the switch 2. So spanning tree MST. So gig 0/0 become the root port. So here also we need to change the cost of as a 20,000 and all. So then it is going to take the effect. Are you getting my point, or yes or no? For that gig 0/1 from this interface, if I'm going to the neighboring switch, the neighboring switch, we need to change the cost for entire VLAN. Are you getting my point, guys? So I will go to my neighboring switch of 2. Who is the neighboring switch of the 2? 3, right? Yes or no? For this switch 3, this port for entire VLAN, we are going to change as a 20. Right? And from this switch, for this port, we are going to change for entire VLAN of as a 20. So for a bundling MST0, for entire VLAN, this cost become 20. This cost become 20. So this port is going to take 20 plus 20, right? 40,000. And then for reaching from this port, for entire VLAN, 1 to 4000, this cost become 60. This cost becomes 60. I'm going to the switch 3. For that port 00, for the port 00, config T interface port 00, spanning tree, right? VLAN 1 to 4094. What is the cost? Simple cost, we have a 20,000 which we are going to give them. Yes. Now I will go to switch 1 for gig 0/1. Switch 1 gig 0/1. I will go to the switch 1 0/1. interface gig 0/1 spanning tree over the VLAN, because we are running that MST over there. Right? What is the cost, guys? Normal 20,000. Yes or no? Makes sense? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Do clear spanning tree. We are going to do that counter. We are going to clear that one. Now we are into that switch 2. The switch 2, man. Clear spanning tree counter. Switch 3. Just is a matter of the command and all, but concept we have the right thing over there. Clear spanning tree counter. Now we are going to see that in the switch 2. So spanning tree MST. What is going to show over there, guys? What is the cost?
20.
The cost fine. What is the root port?
Gig 01.
Right?
Gig 01.
Switch port, any port is blocked over there. We can see that. So IP interface brief. Admin down is there, that's why. Connectivity interface gig 0/1. We are going to no set it.
00 is the short actually.
Oh, sorry. We are going to see the effect. Do so spanning tree MST. Fine, it is a forwarding state. This port for gig 0/1 for entire VLAN is a 20. Beauty, I will go to the switch 2. So spanning tree MST. Gig 00, it is root, but it is not possible, guys. This freaking thing is happening over there. And for gig 0/1, my entire VLAN is that your 20. That is fine. Switch 3 we have so spanning tree MST. Gig 00 is the alternate port. That is fine. Gig 0/1 is that. We need to check the command and all, guys. Okay. In the interface level, the cost is going to define for that MST basis, right? Right now, it is that MST which we have right now as a 0, right? It is running for that CIST. We are going to run that different instance, 1 or 2 or 3. Then we can change that port priority. Cost, we are going to take the effect. We can see that how we are going to change that root port, which I already showed you, right? In previous TP. Port role I already showed you, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
It is running for the MST 0 and it is running for that your internal protocol CIST. That's why we will bundle it out that instance 1 and 2, and for that particular instance we can change the port role. We can see that. But the concept is that it all coming from your neighboring switch port. So first is the cost. Second is the bridge ID of sending switch. Bridge ID means priority plus MAC. If it is not matching, then port priority. By default, it is a 128, right? If it is not, tiebreaker is happening not in the selection of that root port, in the selection of DP port, in the selection of that alternate port. So basically in the selection of the root port, which we are going to do that. Which port become the root port, which port become that ZDD port, and which port become their alternate port. So this is the calculation we are going to do that. Sending switch port cost, sending switch cost, right? Then port cost it is. It is a port cost. If it is not matching, sending switch bridge ID, lower one, port priority lower one. If it is not matching, then port ID lower one. All are lower one. So if I'm making as a high, if you're making as a high from this side, if you're making a high from this side as a 60,000, and from this side it is reaching to the 20,000, and this side is reaching from the 20,000. If I'm going to use this path from this port, it will calculate this port cost as well. From this switch to this root bridge, what is the cost which is coming from this interface? So 20,000 plus 20,000 become 40,000. 40,000 is that lower than 60,000? Technically, this port become that port, and this port become your DP. This port become DP. That is the port rule we are going to change. That's why single thing what we do that we are going to increase the cost from this port only. Technically, we are absolutely correct. You will see that in MST there is some different here and there command, and for the instance we are going to practically implement for that MST 1 and 2, which is done practically running for that MST protocol. MST 0, nothing but that internally it is running that your CIST, which is the per VLAN basis, which we are not able to do that right now, or internal spanning tree protocol. So we need to implement over here, and we need to see that. Okay, guys. So next class we will see that over there. Then we can start that our first lab of the routing. Okay. And MST configuration, we are going to see that right now we are enable that MST mode over that, and we can see that normally for MST 0 by default all VLAN are there, and for that MST 0 the protocol which is running as a CIST, which is running as a CIST, means it is a internal spanning tree protocol or common internal spanning tree protocol, sir. That protocol is having a capability to interoperate between that your MST and PVSTP. If this switch is going to connect with that other switch, just it is running that PVST, right? Always you are going to connect to that your where that root bridge are there. Where that root bridge are there. You cannot connect over there. You always going to connect over where the root bridge you have over there, right? So now whenever you are going to connect over there, or when you are going to connect to the external network, this switch is running that your MST 0, this switch is running that MST 1, this switch is running that MST 2, whatever the instance you want to run, or if you are running that only the MST 1, so by default that MST 2 0 is also running. So it will take all the update into that MST 0 and pass it to that next instance which you are running over there. So because this instance only is running as a ICST, internal spanning tree protocol, or ICST. So that's why for instance 0, who are the root bridge? For instance 0, who are the root bridge? From there we are going to connecting that one. So that root bridge, what it is going to do that, it is going to, whatever the traffic is go, BPD packet is going to come over there, it is going to send into that other instances of that your MST. Other instances of MST. Make sense, guys? Yes or no? Or MST 0, who are the root bridge? There we are going to connecting that or external device. Make sense or not? Or picture is not clear practically. When you see that, then you are going to see that. Okay. So practically we are going to see that whenever you are going to connect the external devices, which is not the part of your MST region, any region, it is a external devices which is running that your PVST, which is running that RSTP, or which is running that STP. by default Cisco switch is going to run that PVSTP only. We are going to remove that. Then if a node is over there in the VLAN 10 and in a node which is going to connect into the MST region into that VLAN 10, how they talk to each other. Because it is a bundle into the one instance, right? It is bundled into that instance one. And which the broadcast right now coming, it is running the PVST. So this port you are making as a trunk, this port you are making as a trunk, the broadcast will go over there. Now this switch, which is the A switch, it has to run that IST or it has to run CIST. So this is that edge switch which is responsible. Any PVST traffic which is going to come, it is going to leak into that your MST. It is leaking to MST. So whether you have that MST multiple instances, in any one of the instances we have the VLAN 10. So what it is going to say that it is going to listen the BPT packet from the PVST to the MSTP. And now from this trunk interface, it is going to pass over there. And then it is going to hit to that your node. Make sense, guys? Picture is clear or not? All of you I'm asking. Picture is clear or not?
It is, sir.
Yes, sir.
Practically, we will see that. You don't need to confuse over that, sir. MST 0 we are running and we are not going to change the port role. It has to be changed. It has to be changed. I will show you then. Okay. Little bit command here and there into the MST. We can see that and we can see that practically. Or the MST1, MST2 and all. As MSTT is a local running as a CST, that's why it's not able to do that. It could be some issue over there. We can figure it out. What is there, what is not there. But the concept which I give you, it is the same concept we are building. And you should keep this thing very close to your heart, which I gave you. All from my neighboring switch, all. Okay, so see you in the next week and tomorrow I will hand over you the document of the switching. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Bye bye.